I've built a career out of breaking guns, especially ARs. So today, let's take a deep dive into some of the carnage that I've created over the years and talk about some of those parts that break, especially when you don't want them to. We really appreciate you coming along with us as we grow our video content. Look, hit like and subscribe, leave us a comment below, and as always, stay tuned for more content. You know, as remarkably reliable as the direct impingement AR is, there's still parts that wear and there's still parts that break. So let's go through those today. Take a few minutes of your time, and honestly, you should be inspecting these parts too every time you disassemble your rifle. Folks, let's start off with a firing pin. Now, 30 years of beating on ARs, I've broken a few of these, and there's certainly going to be folks out there that are going to say, oh, I've got 30,000 rounds on my junk AR, and I've never broken a firing pin. Well, it's a ticking time bomb. And honestly, you are going to, whether you like it or not, if you continue to beat on an AR. Now, there's a couple of things to look at. First, if you've ever pierced a primer, throw that firing pin away. You've probably created some jagged edges or deformed the tip, which is going to hurt the reliability of the AR. Next, of course, it'll break about a third of the way down at this nice chamfer. Now, it'll probably continue running 99% of the time, at least until you take it apart and you wonder why you have two pieces instead of one. But do yourself a favor, whenever you're running the gun, if you get around to that 5,000 round mark, go ahead and replace that. Take that old firing pin, throw it in your box. That way you do have it as a spare. But again, 5,000 rounds, do yourself a favor, replace that firing pin. Next, let's talk about the cam pin and the bolt. I'm going to tell you something that's going to cause you to gasp. Take a small file and place a mark on the cam pin head. The reason being, the cam pin and the bolt wear in together. I want you to reassemble them the same way every time so that those wear patterns continue to match. Now, does that really help the lifespan of the cam pin and the bolt? It can in some instances. It might be 1,000 extra rounds that you get before you break a bolt or before you destroy a cam pin. But here's the thing, as with all things mechanical, when they establish a wear pattern, parts tend to last longer when you continue to align that wear pattern. So again, small mark on the cam pin head, orient it in the same direction every time. Let's spend some quality time with the bolt. There's a lot that's going on in here. First, let's talk about the ejector pin and the ejector spring. Compress that ejector pin on the bolt face. Should be able to compress easily and return to its resting state. Normally, folks don't go ahead and remove all of these parts whenever they're detail cleaning the AR. It can be worth your while to disassemble it and get inside the channel where the spring rides. Now, if it's easy to compress that, and it really shouldn't be, it's probably time to start replacing that spring. Again, a good rule of thumb, about 5,000 rounds, throw the old spring out, replace it with a new one, unless you've already broken it. Now, there's some chrome silicone replacements that are out there that extend the life of this spring. I can wholeheartedly recommend those. It's a good upgrade for a minimal cost, and that's the kind of return on investment, reliability that you're looking for. Let's move on to another critical part of the bolt assembly, and that's the extractor. Always disassemble it when you clean your rifle. You're also going to probably replace that spring around 5,000 rounds, if not sooner. You're going to notice, on a quality rifle anyway, there should be a rubber donut and a center rubber piece on the inside of the spring. That adds to the reliability of the rifle. Those also wear. So again, somewhere around 5,000 rounds, throw the old springs out, put the new donut, the new spring, and the new rubber insert in. Now, inspect that extractor claw whenever you've got it out of the bolt assembly. What you're looking for are chips on the ends and also cracks on the underside where the rebated rim contacts the backside of the extractor. Let's talk about those gas rings real quick. An easy way to check to see if they still have tension against the inside of the bolt carrier, take the entire bolt carrier and see if it compresses when you drop it on the table. If it does, those rings are totally shot. What you need to be doing is replacing those rings, probably about 5,000 rounds no matter what. But here's the thing, when you're reinstalling them on the bolt, make certain that you never align the ring end gaps. It creates too much blow-by and can again affect the functionality of the rifle. So while you've got the rifle apart, go ahead and pull out your buffer and buffer spring. Here's two perfectly good buffer springs, except for one has 10,000 rounds on it and the other one doesn't. You standing on the table, you'll notice you've got about a ½ inch longer length on the one that has no wear. These do take a set just like any spring will, and I can tell you, you need to be replacing these just like you replace the other springs on the inside of the rifle. I've gone over a whole bunch of little parts, but let's talk about a real quick health check for your rifle. It should be ejecting the brass around 3:30 or 4 o'clock if it's gassed properly and the springs are in good shape. And that's all the springs. What you'll notice is over time, over that round count, as it continues to increase, your ejection pattern is going to go farther forward, 3 o'clock, 2:30, 2 o'clock. Those are really good indicators that the springs are starting to wear. When you get to that point where you're in that 2 o'clock range, you'll know, man, it is time for a major overhaul. Let's take this rifle apart and let's replace springs. You know, we all shoot the rifles differently. Some of us beat the living snot out of them. Some of them run them extremely hot. And there's those of us that will take a rifle to the range, put 20 rounds over the weekend, and then we'll put it back in the case and it'll sit there for a year. So sometimes checking the health of the rifle is easiest by looking at the ejection pattern. Keeping a direct impingement AR running reliably isn't all that difficult. Keep it clean, inspect those critical components like extractors and firing pins, and also replace those springs at the right intervals, and you'll have a rifle that runs reliably for years to come. Thanks for joining us today. Won't you share some of your AR carnage in the comment section below, and stay tuned for some more videos coming soon.